Filthy pig.
Welcome, everybody, to a special segment on the Boomer vs. Doomer channel. I'm going to call this probably Doomer Rants or something like that. I'm doing this off the cuff. I'm not doing this with a script. I just wanted to have a discussion here because part of our review of One Battle After Another, the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, something that I was thinking about while I was watching it is, and I mentioned it in our review, which I'll link in the comments. Why can we not enjoy movies in a vacuum, or really entertainment in general? Why does everything have to have some kind of, current day thing inserted into it? And this movie in particular is what made me think of it, because all of the criticism that it's getting, it just seems to be about external factors. And if they are complaining about the movie itself, it's things like, oh, it glorifies terrorism. It makes these people who are doing awful things, the revolutionary. It's glorifying Antifa, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is not a valid criticism of this film. And I'll get into why that is. But I want to kind of lay the backdrop as a review from a larger content creator called Nerdrotic. If you're on YouTube and you watch movie reviews, he's probably popped up at least once or twice for you. Not a huge fan myself, and that's going to come through later. But I just want to show pieces of his review and just kind of pick apart these criticisms I've seen of this movie and why they're just silly, number one. And number two, just enjoy the movie. Stop trying to insert your political bullshit into it. So let's get it started.
Yeah, he's certainly a good director. You can't take that away from him. He's got his fans. Most of them are on Letterboxd. Again, call themselves cinephiles. I am not a cinephile.
So right off the jump, I just want to say the title of this video is, quote, "A Woke Hollywood Wet Dream, One Battle After Another Review." Like, what year is this on? Like, and he doesn't really get into that, the what is woke and what makes it woke, blah, blah, blah. But I just wanted to point out that he felt the need to not only like take shots at people who like movies, calls them cinephiles, and of course he puts the lisp on, right? So he puts the lisp on, he says cinephiles, like people who enjoy movies are doing something wrong. Or like maybe just somebody who doesn't enjoy this year's Marvel slop in a trough is somehow some kind of pretentious loser. It just, the way he says it, obviously he has, there's got to be somebody in his life who has talked down to him about his movie opinions, and this is him just taking it out on them. Now, this next part, he gets into what he does and does not like in movies, and I found it kind of interesting, so check this out.
Don't care. I mostly hate dramas. If I need some good drama in my life, I'll just remember my life. I like to go to films to see things that can't be done in reality. That's why it's called Nerdrotic. That's why I like genre. I like superheroes. I like wizards. But I do like a drug deal gone bad. Those are some of my favorite movies.
So this is kind of the crux of it, right? He admits he doesn't like drama. He likes his movies to not be grounded in reality, which is totally fine. You don't have to like movies that take place in the real world. But why do you feel the need then to watch and then review and give a bad review and then put some sort of woke title slop onto it when you could just shut up, right? Like, I'm not a fan of pickleball. So you know what I don't do? I don't go watch people play pickleball and then complain that I had to watch it. I don't know how else to say. If you know going into this movie that it's not your style, why make the video? Why complain? It makes no sense. Other than it's to get clicks, it's to get your knuckle-dragging horde behind you and say, "Oh, look, it's Hollywood again." And we'll get into some of the comments on this video later, but it's bad, but we'll keep going.
Very sympathetic with the Weather Underground and Antifa portion of it, but not very sympathetic in the fact that they want you to be drawn in if you're not of the Hollywood elitist ilk who thinks this is some kind of romantic glorified revolution.
Okay, so I'm not sure if he just wasn't paying attention or like if that smooth, textureless, marble-like brain of his didn't grasp that this was not a glorification of the revolution and the revolutionaries. Some of the most flawed characters, in fact, other than Sean Penn's character, are the most flawed. Perfidia Beverly Hills, for instance, is not portrayed in a positive light. She does all of the worst things. She snitches out her friends. She is a terrible mother. She drinks and shoots a machine gun while she's pregnant. She cheats on her boyfriend, Leonardo DiCaprio, with basically the complete opposite of who she's, purports to be and what she stands for. Sean Penn is the personification of anti-revolution, and she cheats on DiCaprio with him. So she's not being glorified. At no point are we meant to think that she's the good guy here. But I just maybe the fact that there were only 10 explosions in the first hour. There wasn't enough CGI. There were no flying hammers. Maybe that's why he really couldn't understand it. It wasn't speaking his language.
It was filmed in 2024, so Biden was still president. I think it's more of a callback to the times of the first Trump administration, and it showed a lot of the kids in cages that Barack Obama built. And it's I get it. It's an art film. Okay, it's a very pretentious art film. So if you don't like it, you're not smart.
No, you're not smart because you didn't understand it, not because you didn't like it, okay? If you're going to call something pretentious, you need to explain, number one, why you thought that, not just it disagrees with my worldview, therefore it's pretentious. And anyone that disagrees with me is in fact pretentious, okay? Also, I think this proves my theory that there is somebody in his life who has put down his movie taste, and they probably raved about this, so then this is automatically why he hates it. There's probably a person in Nerdrotic's life who they have an opinion, so his has to be the complete opposite. It's the only thing that makes sense here. There's no way. Now, this gets back to what I was saying earlier about watching movies and entertainment in a vacuum, okay? If you can't watch a movie or a TV show and enjoy it without mentioning a presidential administration or the administration it was filmed under, you have a problem. You have a culture war problem in your brain. It is a worm in your brain, and you have to have it removed, or life will be miserable. I promise you. Please.
So DiCaprio's character and Sean Penn's character are both pining for a revolutionary woman who looks like Lawrence Taylor.
Now, I've included this bit because he thought this joke was so funny, he says it 4 times.
Black woman who looks like Lawrence Taylor. Woman who looks like Lawrence Taylor. When the woman who looked like Lawrence Taylor, when he's pining for that looks like Lawrence Taylor.
Now, obviously, this is meant to be a mean-spirited joke and a dig at Teyana Taylor's looks, which, is just some little kid shit. But look, I'm somebody who has an avatar as their online persona, obviously, so it would be beneath me to criticize somebody's looks. But I can tell you, if I look like this, I would not be cracking jokes about other people's appearance. Just saying.
Just a bad timed movie because it came out the day after an ICE facility was attacked by a commie from Reddit who unfortunately and tragically killed 2 immigrants and it seriously injured one. I don't know if they're still alive or not.
Yeah, I'm sure your heart goes out to those poor immigrants that were killed. I'm sure empathy is something that you're just full of, right? This goes back to my bigger point. You're doing a movie review for One Battle After Another. What relevance does an ICE facility attack by someone who's obviously got mental problems? Number one, he's a Reddit user. There you go. But also, this doesn't add to the review. I understand that there's parallels. They attacked an ICE facility, but this is obviously not the same thing. This is a lone gunman acting, which I'm sure we'll find out he has mental problems later on. Again, Reddit. And where do you see this fitting in? What is the point of this?
So yeah, it glorifies all that. The first 15 minutes is basically just showing how awesome this black woman.
So in the same breath, he's saying that they glorify violence and terrorism and revolutionaries. And then he's going to spend, and I'll spare you, the next 2 minutes talking about why Perfidia Beverly Hills is a piece of shit and she's a bad mother and why Leo is incompetent and why. And so what part of that is being glorified? You yourself will talk about what a bad person she is. Who's being glorified here? Because it's not her.
Great. I can certainly watch a movie about Antifa, and if it's written well with characters that I enjoy, I could probably like it.
I think we all know that's bullshit, right? On no possible plan. It doesn't even have to be Antifa. It could just be somebody who's like a mildly progressive person. There's no way somebody that is this much of a hack and a gremlin could ever empathize with somebody that's different from them. There's just no way, especially intellectually or politically. You will never see Nerdrotic give any sympathy or any type of charitable interpretation of anyone who is even mildly on the opposite political spectrum of him. So don't pretend like you're somebody that could look at a character objectively and put their beliefs or what they do aside. It doesn't even have to be the character, the writer, the producer. If anybody on the fucking craft table service, voted for Joe Biden, there's no way you could take this as anything but your enemies making something. Okay, don't pretend like you're not just a leech sucking off the culture war and sustaining yourself off people being mad at each other. Stop pretending.
And so it is definitely woke. It is a fucking woke movie. It is woke Hollywood made for woke Hollywood, just as jazz is music made for musicians.
Now, you know this is the type of guy who will talk about, oh, you're being a snowflake, blah, blah, blah. You're racism, sexism, that's meant to shut down conversations, and I'm an arbiter of truth, and I just want to get to the truth. But the word woke is just like that, right? You just throw that out there because it has no meaning. It means nothing to you. It just means thing I don't like. Woke Hollywood for woke Hollywood. What does that even mean? Okay, people in Hollywood are making movies for people in Hollywood. They're making movies for everybody, okay? This was not some... Again, my whole point of this is, and I'm not going to make you suffer through any more of this video, enjoy it in a vacuum, okay? Watch this movie for what it is. It's a good story. It's got great pacing. Again, in our review, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. But I watched this review and it just rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, I cannot stand when somebody takes a piece of art like this, and it doesn't even have to be what you would call an art movie, just something that's entertainment, and superimposing the current political climate over top of it. Now, this does cut both ways, and here's where I'm going to piss absolutely everybody off. Is, again, I mentioned this in our review. If you're the type of person or reviewer who will call this movie important, okay? Movies can be important. Documentaries especially can be important. But when you call a movie like this important, everyone knows that you like the smell of your own farts. Okay? Don't pat yourself on the back. And I don't think that this was the intention with the movie. I think Paul Thomas Anderson does a great job making a very nuanced look at a revolutionary group and how it impacted a family and a community, and he does a great job with it. And he doesn't just take the side of them. He makes them look like idiots. He makes them look like bad people. He shows them as being real people and not just these caricatures where they're perfect and the cause is just. They don't care about the cause. She likes getting her rocks off, and he just wants to get with her. That's what the revolution was to them. And if you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't that sophisticated of a telling of this story. So I'm sorry to have subjected people to this movie. I needed to get, not to this movie, but to this review. I needed to get this off my chest. What do you think? Am I off base here? Am I crazy for saying that, hey, it's a movie, watch it with your blinders on. Watch the movie. Enjoy the story that's being told. Forget what's going on outside the theater and just watch it. And if there are themes, and there are in this movie that are explored that involve outside things, that's fine to take into consideration. But if you're just sitting there watching it, fuming about Joe Biden and the kids in cages, like, let it go, okay? You're gonna be miserable, all right? So this has already been too long. Thanks for listening. This has been Doomer Rants. Leave us a like, leave us a sub. Tell me what you think. Goodbye.